Thanks for joining me today. My name is Stryno with Mechs of the Round, and today we're going to do a little retro tech. I've got a SNES. The power port on it broke, and so I'm going to have to reinstall the power port. Now, the SNES I'm working on today was one I got for Christmas back when it originally came out, so there's some sentimental value there, and I want to get it fixed, and I want to get it running again so I can play some games. I picked up Odin Sphere for PS2 the other day for about $10. Hadn't had a chance to check it out. We've been busy here at Mechs of the Round, but as soon as I check it out, I'll let you know. I sold NFL Street and NFL Street 2, and they brought about $40 together, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And I've got some more retro stuff coming in, and I'll be sharing that with you as soon as the mail truck delivers it. And so right now we're just going to get started on this SNES so I can get back to playing games. Okay, so I've got the NES here, SNES here. As you can see, the port on the far right of the screen is broken. And I've got the part there. It replaces the whole back panel. So I thought that was pretty nice. It's all attached in there. I've seen some people do it without replacing the back panel, but it seemed like a lot of unnecessary work. I'm not emotionally attached to the back panel, so I was fine with replacing it. Before we get too far going into this video, I want you to know that there will be some soldering involved. If you're not too familiar with soldering, you might check out some videos on how to solder. It's actually a pretty easy solder job as far as that goes. It's not too meticulous. The pieces are large enough that, you know, amateur soldering does work, which is good because that's about the best I can do. I don't solder in my office, so I had to take it out to my shop, and I didn't have a good way to record that. So if you're looking for the recording of me doing the soldering, you'll probably miss out. Now, I'm using 2-bit drives. They're called security drives for the bottom here. I'll have the part and description below, along with the part and description of the back panel that I'm replacing. But these security drives will work on SNES and NES, and they have two sizes. One's larger for the console, and one's a little bit smaller. There's 6 screws on the base of this that you have to remove. So I just take the bit driver by itself and go ahead and remove the final threads on it and dump them out on my desk. Okay, once you get those 6 screws removed, it's pretty easy to open up the case. Now, there is a spring on the eject deal that is just kind of held in there by pressure. So be wary of that. I had it looked like a part of a snap that somehow found its way into the console at one point. So I was glad to get that rattle out of there. I was actually afraid it was a piece of plastic broken, but it does not look like it was part of the SNES at all. All right. Inside, I think there's a total of 5 screws. I'm just using a little alcohol here to clean some of the parts while it's open. There's 7 screws inside that you have to remove. 4 are silver and 3 are gold. They are different sizes, so you want to mark where they came out of. The 3 gold are kind of in a triangle pattern at the front 2 corners, and then 1 in the center of the back. And then the 4 silvers, 2 hold the power plate on, and 2 are connected right there where the pin reader is. And 2 connects the pin reader to the base. So you'll move those. See, those 2 are silver. That's the back plate screws. Luckily, it all comes out in one steady piece. There's not a whole lot of pieces. You do have to remove the power switch, and I don't remove it here in this video, but it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and take that power switch off. It'll allow you to get to that screw there. So that's another 2 screws. They're both gold. They're both the same size as the gold screws that come out. So in this project overall, you're dealing with 3 screw sizes, the 6 security bits that came out the back, the 5 golden screws, 2 that hold the power switch on, and 3 that hold the motherboard on, for lack of a better word to call it. And then there's 4 silver screws that are holding the back plate on and the pin adapter. That one right there is a gold one. Like I said, it's in the back right corner if you was facing it from the front. That one's gold. And this one underneath the switch is gold. And like I said, you'll want to remove that switch. I had to remove it when I went to put it all back together. So just go ahead and remove it from the start. I thought I'd get away without having to remove it, but I was wrong. All right. All right. The eject button comes out. There is a spring holding it in place. So once you get that spring loosened up, it slides out pretty easy. I did have to detach the ribbon that goes to the controllers from the front of it. You'll want to do that before you start pulling and yanking it out of there. Okay, there's a screw here that holds it down, and I take it off, but I've seen some other people leave it on when soldering, and that is probably a good idea. So leave it on, melt the solder off, remove the screw, remove the back panel, and then put the back panel back on, screw it down, then solder it in place. That'll just keep your solder joints from flexing and breaking while you're trying to put that screw in. At the very top of the screen, you see the 2 points that you have to solder. Like I said, you won't see that in this video. It's pretty easy. You melt the solder off the back of the data board, and then that piece will slide out. There's 2 prongs on the replacement piece that slide into those slots, and then you pretty much just melt some solder on the back side of it to hold it in place. I used a amateur soldering iron and just some solder that I had around. It seemed to work good. So like I said, I think it'd be a good soldering project for somebody that is familiar with it but not an expert. It'll give them an opportunity to kind of work with a large surface area. Okay, I'm skipping back ahead to where I had to take the switch off. It was in the way. So I hope I gave everybody fair warning far enough in advance so that they don't run into the same time sink that I did trying to get that screw in there without taking that switch off. Like I said, the gold screws hold the front 2 corners down. The silver screws hold the power plate. Okay, so that's it for the repair on the SNES. When putting the eject button back in, there is a spring that you have to line up. The long piece goes down and the short piece goes to the top and clips into a little hook on the eject lever. So once you get that in place, it's basically just reassemble of the whole SNES, and you should be good to go. I hope this helps somebody out, at least make the decision on whether or not they wanted to attempt the fix, or if they need to find a buddy that's good with the soldering iron to help them. Either way, like I said, it was a simple repair, and I'm glad that it's back working like it was when it was new. Appreciate it. As you can see behind me, the SNES is working. I'm pretty excited about it. It seems to be doing good. It's been powered on for a little while. You saw it in the intro video. So I haven't had a problem with it. My Sims are a little upset I don't have a stadium and my tax rate's too high. But, you know, I mean, we're trying to simulate real life here. Thanks for watching Mechs of the Round. And again, my name is Stryno with Mechs of the Round. If you could, like, subscribe, leave a comment, check some of the other content we have out. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you for watching.